Hey friends, today I wanted to share an update in my reading journal. It's been at least a year since I've opened this thing, and if you want to see how I first put this together, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. But here are the spreads that have been so neglected. As part of this update though, I did want to step into this refresh, if you will, with a particular goal in mind. I think when I first set it up, I had a certain vision and honestly a bit more time on my hands to be a bit more crafty. But since becoming a mom, I do have to be a bit strategic about what I can accomplish during nap time. With that in mind, I wanted to make these pages a little less involved and easier for me to come back to and update while still maintaining some of a similar aesthetic to the previous pages I showed you. I am absolutely obsessed with this one creator on TikTok. I'll have her linked in the description box below, but I absolutely adore the way that she set up her reading trackers. So this is my take on those spreads with the materials that I have. First up, we're setting up a new books read in 2024 tracker. And as I was setting this up, I was going back and forth on whether or not I should simply start logging the books that I've read going forward from the month of October, or if I should update this fully to include all the books that I've read since the beginning of the year. And I did decide to go ahead and fill this out completely and entirely since I dedicated 2 pages to it. I think that'll be more than enough space to log the books that I've read this year. It was at this point where we hit our first hiccup of the reading journal update. I wanted to recreate that look with the alternating colored lines from my previous books read tracker shown here with my zebra brown Mildliner. I guess I finished using that because I could not find it anywhere, and the only logical reason I could come up with for not finding it is that I had used up all the ink. So I did play around with some other colors and markers that I had on hand, but ultimately I did decide to order a new pack of Mildliners so that I could achieve that particular look. That's kind of out of character for me. I like using the things that I have on hand, but for whatever reason I was being a little bit stubborn about replicating a certain look. And the funny thing is, the pack of Mildliners that I did end up ordering did not include that shade of brown that I wanted to repurchase. I'll show you later in the video what I decided on. But here I'm starting a new spread, and it's a series tracker. This is a spread that I saw that TikTok creator that I mentioned earlier in the video include in her reading journal, and I absolutely love the idea. It seemed phenomenal, and the reason that I was drawn to it is because I'm currently in the middle of a couple of different series, and for the ones that I want to come back to, I thought it would be nice to have this list for reference. I think this was a spread that I wanted to include when I first set up this reading journal, but just didn't get around to. So I'm happy that I'm including it here in this update, and I think it'll help me focus in on what books I want to read next so I can complete the series that I've started. Here are the zebra Mildliners that I ended up ordering, and I will do my best to link all the supplies in the description box below if you want to check that out. This color is a little bit more tan sand color versus the brown that I was using before. I think that brown previously leaned a little bit more red and warm tone. I'm starting to fill out some of the titles of books that I read in my refreshed 2024 tracker. I'm gonna have to update this periodically. I don't think I'm going to be able to update it all in one go, but I wanted to show a couple of titles here so that you can see what the spreads look like when they are starting to be filled out. Here I'm working on the series tracker. I was undecided on what ink I wanted to use, which pen for this, and I ultimately decided I like the look of the fountain pen. The blue might seem a little stark in contrast to what I've got going on, but I think it turned out all right. I did have to use my Sarasa dry gel pen to write over the correction tape though, and then I switched back to my TWSBI Iris, and it's currently inked up. It's always inked up with Pilot Konpeki. I think that is a match that cannot be broken. It felt like there was quite a bit of trial and error with this spread. As you can see, I'm using the correction tape again and going over some of the text I previously written with my mild liner. I liked that I was trying things out instead of being paralyzed by whether or not things are going to look good. I just put it to the test, and if it didn't look the way that I wanted it to, start over. Well, not entirely start over, but just cover it up and, try again. Here's another example. I was putting everything in all caps and decided that I just wanted to write as normal here. Possibly my favorite part of this journal update was filling in those little circles for the books that I've read. Unmatched. This next spread I love in theory, but I'll be frank, I don't know if I can regularly maintain and update this for every single book that I've read. For this, I am going to attempt to do just the books that I've read going forward from Immortal Longings. I don't think I'm going to be able to backlog everything from the beginning of the year. Don't think that's realistic. I wanted to approach this with simplicity in mind. So you have your title, author, a little picture of the book cover, rating, some stats, the genre, amount of pages, date started, date completed. I wanted to also include a little quote from the book, a quick summary, as well as general thoughts, things that I enjoyed during my reading experience. We'll see. It does feel like I'm juggling quite a few elements on a single page, but I am pleased with how it looks, and I'm pleased with how all these spreads turned out. Thank you so much for watching and for allowing me to share this update with you. I would love to hear any reading journal updates that you have. Please pop them in the comments below. I'm curious, how do you keep track of the books that you read? Do you have a journal, or do you keep a spreadsheet? Do you have a Goodreads account? Let me know in the comments below. With so much love and gratitude, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.